Good evening, my name is Rashid. I specialize in building tools that are not only functional, but also intuitive to use. My journey has taken me from mastering new programming languages to diving deep into generative AI, blending my background in business with remote team building and software interface design. My current explorations are centered around generative AI, and most recently, on the emerging potential of audio as a future computer interface. You might have noticed, the voice you are hearing is not my own. I leverage AI-generated voices to articulate my ideas more effectively, separating the essence of the thoughts from my personal expression. Now, let's delve into today's topic.
Welcome to Social Experiments with Artificial Intelligence, a thought-provoking show that delves into the intricacies of human behavior, culture, and ethics. Each episode introduces you to real-world experiments, theoretical frameworks, and ethical dilemmas that serve as a labyrinth for your mind. Hosted by Rashid. We explore the social constructs that guide, and sometimes misguide, human action.
Empirical scrutiny. You see, when you launch a startup, you're diving into an archetypal journey. You're essentially channeling the hero's quest from ancient mythology, willing to descend into the chaos to retrieve something of great value. Your hypotheses or profound beliefs are your Excalibur, the weapon you forge to combat the dragons of uncertainty. But remember, even Excalibur was a tool, not an eternal truth. So, how do you know that your blade is sharp enough, that your beliefs are correct? That's where empirical scrutiny comes in. This isn't just a process. It's a virtue. It's akin to Jung's individuation. It's about confronting the chaos within your assumptions and refining yourself, that is, your startup's business model, in that abyss. You have to be willing to question the integrity of your most closely held beliefs, to allow them to die and be reborn as something stronger. This is deeply rooted in our evolutionary biology. Our ancestors had to adapt their beliefs continuously to survive in ever-changing environments. Now, let's talk about Freud for a moment. Freud believed that our unconscious minds harbor conflicts, repressed experiences, and desires. In the context of a startup, your profound beliefs are often manifestations of your unconscious biases. You may think you're solving the world's most pressing problem, but perhaps it's a problem only you or a very select few see. Hence, empirical scrutiny is like psychoanalysis for your business. You delve into the unconscious assumptions behind your hypotheses and bring them to light. In the realm of virtues, fortitude and prudence stand out. You need the courage to stand up to the world and say, "Here's my idea." But you also need the prudence to ask, "Is this idea any good?" There's a balance, like yin and yang. One without the other is either reckless or paralyzing. This equilibrium is a practice of temperance, of wisdom through moderation. Being in the middle of that spectrum is where you want to be. Strong enough to carry your profound beliefs, but wise enough to reshape them when they don't hold up to scrutiny. The empirical process itself is a series of heroic cycles. You create a hypothesis and you challenge it. You design an experiment to test it out, like Hercules facing one of his 12 labors. You don't know if your hypothesis will survive this challenge, but that's the point. It's a mechanism that can teach you humility and wisdom, and it can save you from the hubris of assuming you know more than you do. Rogers, the humanistic psychologist, would argue that this process depends on your openness to experience, one of the big 5 personality traits. If you're not open, the whole exercise becomes a farce. You'll hear, but not listen, see, but not perceive. You're not just looking for validation. You're striving for growth, for self-actualization. Your startup is, in some ways, an extension of yourself, and it too needs to grow to become what it genuinely can be. Finally, we come to the ethical aspect. Empirical scrutiny isn't just about what works. It's also about what should work. There's a big difference. You might discover that some unscrupulous tactics could yield greater profits, but is it just? Is it aligned with your virtues and ethical compass? Remember, the path to hell is paved with good intentions and untested assumptions. So, to wrap this up, your profound beliefs serve as a crucial starting point, but they are not the destination. They have to stand up to the empirical scrutiny not because the market demands it, but because in some deeper sense, life itself demands it. It's how you honor the wisdom buried deep within our evolutionary heritage, our cultural narratives, and our ethical frameworks. It's how you temper the blade of your Excalibur so that it's fit not just to slay today's dragons, but the dragons of tomorrow as well.